This is Kugan Cassis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're at the final press conference here for Charlie Edwards' world title defence against Angel Moreno. Saturday night live on Sky Sports from the Copper Box. I'm joined by the WBC champion Charlie Edwards. Sound good?
Sounds good. Never gets old, that's for sure.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling cool, calm and collective for Saturday night. I'm just loving each and every minute of it. And I'm just taking each obstacle in my way and climbing over the hurdle. And it's a real enjoyment factor. I've wanted this for so long, and the only time I've ever been so down in the press is when I ain't fighting, when I ain't on these big shows. And to be on these big shows and be headlining such a stacked undercard, it's a dream come true. And I'm just loving it. Like I said, I'm lapping it up. I'm loving every second. And it just makes me more determined, more hungry. And you know what? It's a feel-good factor. It's going to make me perform even better on Saturday night. I'm going to draw all the energy in from the crowd. And I'm so lucky and blessed how the British public has taken a liking to me. The opportunity I'm getting, Eddie and Sky Sports, it's just been a crazy experience, but it just goes to show hard work really does pay off.
I know it's been talked about, kind of the whole Charlie Edwards backstory now has been spoken about a lot, and rightly so as well, but I think kind of from that Casemiro defeat, the way that you've kind of just put your head down and kind of got over that and then put yourself into a position, you've had to kind of be patient. It wasn't like last week, you've had to kind of be patient to get your second shot, but when you did get that shot, you kind of took it with both hands.
100%. I believe I had to go through all that to test my character, to make me the world champion, to make me be able to perform the way I did. So when that shot come, I weren't taking no for no answer. I developed my mindset, I developed my training, I put myself in the positions where I had to learn, had to better myself every day, and getting knocked back and feeling unloved and feeling not wanted and fights falling through, this and that, it all played a major part into me becoming the world champion.
I know obviously after that Casemiro defeat, obviously your friends and your family are going to be unquestionably around you, but how important have people like Eddie Hearn, MTK Global, how important have they been kind of into steering you back into kind of contention to even challenging for a world title again?
Massively, because the way I got beat, it was devastating really. I put in a good performance, but at the end of the day I got stopped. And I've got to be thankful and grateful that Eddie, MTK and Sky Sports, they didn't give up on me. They believed in me, and they understood it was too early as well, and it was a very big jump, and it was one of them dare to be great moments. And I think I got a lot of respect from them taking that, because I know a lot of fighters, they don't want to fight proper fights, and I was gunning for them, and I failed, but I showed them how determined and how dedicated I was. Even when things weren't happening and things were falling off, I was always living in the gym, always training, always putting myself in the position to get better. And it's paid off, but I've got to be thankful and grateful for them. So,
I mean, how long was the time period? 3 years in between the fights?
2 years, 3 months.
You know.
2 years, 3 months.
2 years, 3 months. So, I mean, what were you kind of doing? Like in terms of, we heard Eddie Hearn talking in the press conference there, but were you kind of on his case to kind of get you another shot? Were you kind of just being patient, or? I was
a pest, an absolute pest. I was calling for things, and it just weren't happening. And obviously, you see when I called for Yafai as well, and that messed me about a hell of a lot, because he was entertaining it and making out he was entertaining it, which then we chased it, and then he just wasted my career. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of them ones.
There was a lot of talk about that fight with what it looked like no real potential of it happening.
Yeah, but it was like Cal was maybe in it, and then it would give us hope, and then we'd keep trying to chase it, and then he's probably just sitting at home laughing at me, which you can't blame him for doing that. But at the end of the day, I've got where I am now, and I've got to say thank you to him, because that's made me even more hungry, that's made me even more of a better fighter, and I'm getting better and better all the time. He's super fly, I'm down at fly now.
Of course.
But it's like I said, and like Eddie said, it's a fight 100%. If it comes up, I'm ready and I want it. As long as I don't have to vacate my WBC. If I can move up, fight Cal, beat him, win the WBA, and then choose what title I have without vacating, that's the ideal situation. But I don't want to give up my WBC belt. No way, no how.
But again, listening to your promoter there in the press conference, that's got to be a goal of yours to kind of unify the titles at some point this year, hopefully.
100%. After I boxed Rosales, And when I got offered Rosales, he was the toughest one out there, and I said yes because we was looking for Mifle Maruti, and he turned me down to go over to Japan to fight someone, which he's got every right to. He's a world champion, and he give him the voluntary over me. So after I beat Rosales, I called for the unification straight away. I want to unify. I want to undispute if it's possible. Do you know what I mean? That's the goal. Hopefully there can be a World Super Series down at flyweight. It's not an expensive one to make, and it would fit alongside other cards.
Your brother's fight was being announced at a press conference yesterday. Was an opponent announced yesterday for Sonny?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I haven't really even looked too much into it. So,
but he's chomping at the bit for a big fight again. Sonny is.
Yeah, we're both the same. We're just in this sport for the reason to build legacies. We want fights. We want proper fights. We don't want easy fights. We don't want to shy away. It's what you've got to be in this game for, really. Like the longevity of your career, the passion, the drive comes from big fights.
I will have to ask you, obviously. Well, yeah, I will have to ask you about it because obviously speaking to Paddy on the day of his fight, and which didn't obviously go to plan for Paddy, and obviously I think your brother's done the talking for both of you on that side.
But that's the art of it. I'm like the angel, he's like the devil. So we've got it quite well off.
I think it's to be expected though from some of the comments, and I've probably learnt myself that interviewing a fighter on the day of a fight is not ideal. I didn't have a choice because that was the first time I see Paddy when I was in New York, but I do in hindsight think that that's not probably a good idea to that. I'm not taking blame because ultimately I'm not responsible for what someone's saying, but to put someone in that position where they're talking on the day of the fight is always risky, and that's part of it I do regret. But yeah, what did you make of his defeat?
I actually haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a real shame. It's a real shame. I haven't got a bad word to say against Paddy, to be honest. Like, I've got no remorse towards him. I really understand where it all stems from. We actually sat down before I think my second pro fight in Sheffield, and we had in hand those together. And it was always cool. He'd come over to the MTK gym, we sparred. Him and Michael Condon come over.
Because you're part of the same management as well. I mean? Yeah,
like, of course, I just didn't understand it. I don't know if rumours and things have gone around the houses. I know my dad used to blab his mouth off, which he's always been a bad guy for, and maybe what he said might have annoyed Paddy, but I've got nothing but respect for the guy. He's had a great career in the amateurs, a 2 times bronze medalist, which, come on, that's some doing. And yeah, he turned over pro. He hasn't quite done it as a pro, but age is a factor, and if you don't live the life, I suppose it does catch up with you. And but I wish him nothing but the best. I heard he said he made a rational decision that he was going to retire. If he does, I wish him all the best for whatever he goes on next, and maybe one day we'll be sitting around having a coffee because he'll probably be in with MTK having a job or something like that. If he carries on to carry on boxing, I wish him all the best. I've got no problem with him, and it is what it is, I suppose. All
right, well listen, you've got Angel Marino, who, what was the quote? He's going to break you like a toy.
Yeah.
Was that the quote?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something along them lines.
Okay.
For me, that comes across as an uncomfortable man. You can be confident and you can voice what you think is going to happen, but to say it in a nasty, negative sort of way, that shows you're emotionally attached. You're a bit on edge, you're not comfortable. And boxing's a very emotionally attached sport. You need to be comfortable in uncomfortable positions, and for me that showed his nerves.
Not long to go now, weigh-in tomorrow, and then Saturday night, your first defence of your WBC crown. So listen, wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll catch up with you after that fight.
You will.
Got anything else?
And still. Yes, I want to say thank you as well for everyone who showed me love and positivity. It's gone crazy since I won the title, and I'm so grateful for that.
Top man. Charlie Edwards, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up with you over the weekend.
Thank you.